Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to share our work we've been doing with our program called Louisville Science Pathways. We're very excited to share that with you all today. So I want to start by addressing the issue that Louisville Science Pathways is focused on challenging. So there have, despite recent progress, there are still many inequities in STEM fields. Women and many minority groups still remain very underrepresented. And there's really a key issue here that is causing this underrepresentation. And these student groups are not sticking with STEM, these STEM fields. So here you can see around 33% of students, underrepresented minorities that are in college, are studying STEM fields. Only 16% graduate with that undergrad degree in STEM, and then only 10% go on to earn their PhD. And I think there is something really important here that is causing this issue, and that's that these students are not grounded in STEM. So there's a study called They're Not Dumb, They're Different by Sheila Tobias, where she focused on why students are abandoning science. And here's just an excerpt from that study that I think really hits the point. At the bottom, they're not connected. They're not learning about why this field is connected to the larger world and what it can mean for them moving forward. So Louisville Science Pathways was started to kind of address this issue. It was started by a graduate student named Teodora Stoica. And Louisville Science Pathways is a summer internship program for high school students, and it's completely managed by graduate students at UofL in the Science Policy and Outreach group. So the goals of this program are to promote science education by connecting the UofL research that's ongoing here at the university with the Louisville community, as well as introducing high school students to scientific research as well as STEM career paths. And something we're really trying to focus on is engaging students who have not had a previous experience like this. So they haven't previously done a research project, so we can offer them this kind of unique opportunity. So Louisville Science Pathways was started in 2017. And in 2017 and 2018, there were 13 and 14 students in the cohort. In 2019, Dylan Johnson and I took over the program, and Louisville Science Pathways was clearly a very good program, and it was addressing the issues it was meant for. But we saw a need for improvement with the program. So we kind of sat down and we discussed what kind of goals we wanted to set for the program moving forward. We really wanted to increase the diversity of student participants, as well as offer a paid internship to our students and hopefully reduce some barriers for participation. We also really wanted to grow the program. We wanted to have more faculty mentors and more students participating each summer. And we also wanted to provide more opportunities for counseling for them to learn about higher education as well as STEM careers. So something that we felt was one of the main aspects we wanted to address was offering this paid internship. So we started down a pathway of kind of looking for how we could find a way to do this, and we started a conversation with Kentuckiana Summer Works. So Summer Works is a Jefferson County funded program that provides opportunities for high school students to work in a career field that they're interested in the future and hopefully gain a meaningful employment experience. So this kind of allows these high school students to explore careers of interest, make connections at real jobs, and kind of have a list of professional references as they move on in their future. And we saw a clear connection here with what we were trying to do. Basically, Summer Works was a more broad, had a more broad outlook with more career paths while we were kind of focusing on STEM. So we decided to start a partnership with them. And they agreed that they would help us pay our students stipends, and that we would work with them to coordinate the program for the summer. So summer works a lot with Jefferson County Public Schools. So that kind of led to another pathway for us to look at. And specifically, they like to work with the Academy programs. So if you're not familiar with the Academies at Jefferson County Public Schools, they're kind of like a small school within a school, and they focus on a specific career path. And this allows students to connect to that career path back to their core curriculum, which again aligns with something that we're trying to do to make these students feel more grounded in STEM. So we decided to start working with these academies as well. And the academies each have a coach, and these academy coaches have really good relationships with the students at the schools. They know a lot about them. So that these coaches know the students that are really interested in STEM, and they also know the students who would benefit the most from a program like Louisville Science Pathways. So we decided to use this as a direct communication where we could reach those target students that we really wanted to. So that leads us into our summer of 2019. Our student cohort consisted of 17 students. We had 67% female students and 20% underrepresented minorities. So I just want to give you a quick look of what we did with that student cohort. So before the students began the program, we asked them to complete an entry survey. And what this entailed was they answered questions about their interest in STEM careers, their interest in STEM in general, their knowledge of how to go down a STEM career path, and also what they knew about applying to college, applying to med school, or applying to grad school. We also asked questions about us offering the paid internship and other maybe barriers, like if transportation was difficult for them, things like that. So these students worked in a UofL research lab for 8 weeks. They participated in weekly career seminars. On the bottom, you can see one of our students. She's dressed in PPE to get ready to go into a high safety level laboratory. And they also presented their research at end of the summer symposium. And at the end of the program, they completed an exit survey that had the same questions as when they came in. So we're able to compare the results and see what they learned throughout the summer. So I want to highlight 2 things that we kind of learned from these surveys. The students really benefited from our career seminars. It seemed at the beginning they were very uncertain about how to become a scientist or a professional practitioner, or how do you get a doctorate? How do you become an engineer? And we were able to increase their understanding of these career paths, but we're also able to really increase their interest in these career paths as well. Also, our partnership with Kentuckiana Summer Works really allowed us to reduce some barriers in participation. So the JCPS students were more motivated to work a paid internship, which isn't too surprising. But some of them said if it wasn't paid, they wouldn't have been able to do it. Something that was kind of shocking to us is that none of them said they had any issues with transportation to come to campus to work in these labs. So we still think there are a couple of areas that we really need to improve on for the program. One, we really want to increase representation of these minority groups in our applicant pool. So we want to continue to work with JCPS to help identify these students and expand our programming at the UofL Signature Partnership Initiative schools. And we've also considered maybe starting an ambassador program where someone who participated in LSP before can talk to their peers and kind of encourage them to apply to the program. You can also see that I'm comparing our stats from our applicants from 2019 to 2021. We were able to increase our underrepresented minority percentage a little bit, but again, we really want more of these students to apply to the program. Something else that we really want to improve on is increasing the available positions of these students. We really need to identify more faculty mentors who are willing to participate in LSP. And I think we really need to have kind of an open discussion with the mentors about what they like about the program, what they don't like, and how we can make this more feasible for them. So you can see in 2019, we had 17 positions. SummerWorks funded all of those positions for us. In 2020, we couldn't have a typical LSP. We had a virtual LSP with 14 students. And in 2021, we have 18 positions available right now to students, and SummerWorks is providing 20 funded spots for us. So we're really pushing to get to those 20 funded positions. And like I said, I really think the availability of faculty mentors is the greatest limiting factor to our program growth. So we really need to get more faculty excited about participating in the program. So now I want to hand it off to James Whitley, who is one of the current LSP directors, for him to talk about LSP for this summer.
All right. Hey, everyone. So my name is James Whitley. I'm a third-year graduate student in the Department of Anatomical Sciences and Neurobiology. And so talking about LSP this coming summer, while we did have great success with the virtual LSP as well as a virtual MATLAB course that was taught, there's really no replacement for in-person experiences in a lab. And so this year we have decided to proceed with an in-person LSP, and we have implemented some COVID testing protocols so that we can safely have these students on campus. And as Sarah mentioned, our applicant pool this year, we had a total of 36 applications from students across Jefferson County. And we did increase the percentage of students that were part of a URM category to 27%. We also maintained the representation of females in this program with about 2/3. And then another factor we began looking at is whether they were eligible for free and reduced lunch. We saw that around 30% of the students were eligible. And again, we have 18 positions currently. The limiting factor is the number of mentors, faculty mentors that have agreed to take a student. So we're really working hard to fund or find spots for the 20 students that are funded through Kentuckiana Works. And so as Sarah mentioned, I have been helping out this year. Will become an LSP director, and we also want to thank Claire Westcott, who has been working with Sarah as well to keep the LSP program up and running. And then I just wanted to take a minute to show some appreciation to previous and current faculty mentors. One of the things we've worked hard on in recruiting LSP mentors is building relationships. And we've seen that students that are mentors that take a student will often do that in the subsequent years. So we found a lot of success in like building relationships so we get the mentors to host students year after year. And we have a representation from across the university, such as the Speed Engineering School up to some of the IPIBS departments on the Health Science campus. And then finally, I wanted to end up with some contact information. You can contact either Claire Westcott or myself if you know any faculty that are anxious to take an LSP student or want to be more involved in developing diversity in the STEM fields. With that, I wanted to end and thank the organizers of this symposium today.